Have you gotten your tickets for the Portal Palooza? You might want a refund.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. I'll talk about FanDuel in a bit. Also, thank you for making this your first listen. Jimmy, everybody was so fired up, including us, and so sitting on pins and needles for this transfer portal to open.
Ouch.
Honest to God, I mean, this is like, hey, have you got your tickets for the big music festival? Yeah, I got them. I can't wait. It's a surprise who is going to be headlining. And then all of a sudden you find out it's Nickelback and one of the Beatles that's dead. I mean, it's like the worst portal ever. I mean, the biggest name in the portal is Caden Proctor.
Sort of like Nickelback.
I know. They get a bad rap.
You're like, of course you do.
Everybody else.
They do get a bad rap.
You seem like you like Nickelback.
They get a terrible rap. I mean, they're not my favorite by any means, but I can listen to Rockstar like all day and all night.
Starland Vocal Band. How about that?
Okay.
They sang Afternoon Delight. And I only know that because of The Simpsons, because one time Homer got a tattoo of Starland Vocal Band on his arm, like accidentally, and he said, Starland Vocal Band, they suck. But anyway, all right. So we've been waiting with bated breath for this portal to open. The biggest name in there so far is Caden Proctor, and we all know where he's going. It just feels like he's already.
Is he actually in the portal?
Yes, he had to get in the portal to be here.
I know, but is he in?
Yeah. 100%. The guy for On3 who is Pete Nakos.
Pete Nakos.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Pete Nakos. Yeah.
What a name! I like that name.
He's a portal knower. He's also he's On3's guru as it relates to NIL too, big time. He's an NIL knower.
Yeah, he's Pete Nakos sounds like it could be one word. That's what I like about it.
That'd be a cool word. Okay, so Proctor is officially in. That must have just happened.
Yeah, and he's with the do not contact tag. I mean, no kidding.
Good. Well, okay, so Proctor's in, and I think this will likely be followed by a more verbal commitment to Alabama. He was at A-Day. For those listening who don't know, Caden Proctor, I guess he's enrolled in Iowa now, but he was at Alabama's A-Day this past weekend. By the way, I saw some photos. I didn't see him in person. I somehow missed him in person, but I saw photos. Caden's slimmed down. He's looking pretty good. He does not look as heavy as he was when he was here at Alabama last fall. The subject of his weight was a major discussion. Listed, I think, or said to be 365. Looking at him, you thought he might even be bigger, to be frank, but he looked pretty slimmed down. I would go so far as to say 340, maybe, the photos I saw.
And look, he could carry that well.
Oh, yeah.
He could carry 340 well.
He really can. Alabama's new offensive line coach and the new scheme, they're just going to want slimmer guys. I think it's just perfectly exemplified by the fact that there's a battle at right tackle, and Miles McVay weighs a lot, and Wilkin Formby weighs less. And I think had the Saban staff remained in place, McVay would be the favorite to be the right tackle. But the new staff came in, and now Formby's the favorite to be the right tackle. I think they just want slightly slimmer, more athletic guys up front, whereas Saban wanted earth movers up front.
But back to the portal for a minute. Here are some of the, just groundbreaking names. And again, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus because, I mean, what I'm saying is, okay, some of these guys are freshmen. They probably didn't get their foot in the door into a starting lineup or whatever, and maybe it's not working out for them. So be it. But considering that all we've heard for 4 or 5 weeks is, man, portal day is going to be out of this world. These are the names that have entered the portal so far. LSU linebacker Jackson Howard. He only played in 5 games last year. Pete Nakos has 3 posts in a row about Caden Proctor, which I don't blame him. He's like, that's the biggest name. I got to throw this one out there as much as I can. A Colorado State wide receiver named Justice Ross Simmons is in. I mean, maybe he's okay. Tavares Dawson is in the portal again. He was at Auburn, and then he transferred to Colorado. He hadn't done much of anything. And again, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying, compared to the hype, this has not been good. Andrew Chambly from Arkansas, an offensive lineman in the portal. There was a Tennessee guy, and let me find it really quickly, what I retweeted. And also, here's one that is interesting to me because I'm an AHSA guy. Carmelo English, who played at Phoenix City, is in the portal.
I gotta think that might be Auburn, right?
Yeah, you would think he said at Auburn. Jacoby Matthews, Texas A&M safety, who had a huge recruiting drama, he's in the portal. And Elijah Herring, who led Tennessee with 79 tackles last year, he's in the portal. Now, he was the first one, so I guess, like, I was like, wow, okay, Tennessee's leading tackles in the portal. All right, this thing's about to get big. And then after that, it was really sort of Carmelo English, who I don't think's done much at Michigan, and I don't
have names. I don't have names, but a couple guys that jumped in the portal that captured my attention. There's a Colorado pass rusher in the portal that's real interesting, and a Pitt pass rusher in the portal. I don't really think pass rusher is the highest priority for Alabama because I think they generally like what they have, but I wouldn't be shocked if they went after a premier guy. I don't think we need pass rusher. I think they wouldn't pass up a dude, that's a good pass rusher. And the guy from Pitt and the guy from Colorado certainly caught my attention. Another interesting thing that I wouldn't rule out, not telling you guys that this is a target or not telling you guys this is something, but another position they might not pass up is kicker. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not projecting it yet. The only thing I'm projecting is like, oh, what are you projecting? I think they signed another offensive tackle in addition to Proctor, and I think a cornerback or two. That's what I expect. But I won't be surprised with a pass rusher. I won't be surprised with a kicker.
All right, is the Colorado edge DV Harris? I think
that might be it.
He's a 6'3" edge. He totaled 65 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 2 block kicks, and 3 defensive TDs. Okay. That one's a little sexier, but that happened 15 hours ago. So it wasn't even technically today.
Well, he announced, yesterday you could announce your intention. And for a lot of people, I explain this every year, for those new to the portal, you don't have to enter the portal before you're, quote, in the portal. I know that sounds crazy, but really to be in the portal, all you really have to do is announce your intention. Once you've let the world or your athletic director or your coach or an administrator at your university, once you've let them know you intend to enter the portal, then you're free game, at that point, once the world is on notice.
And here's the Pittsburgh guy I think you mean. And again, this happened yesterday. Is Dayon Hayes. And this guy is 6'3", 255, 81 tackles, 27 tackles for loss, 13 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles.
Big numbers.
Now, that's his college career. That's not last year.
Still big numbers. Still big numbers.
He was two-time ACC Player of the Week defensively in 2023. So, yeah, I mean, that one's not bad. But again, Jimmy, I'm going to express my disappointment in.
Oh, I agree.
There's been nobody of super note.
I wasn't sure I was expecting a lot of stars so much as I was expecting a lot more activity. And I was expecting it all up front. And that hasn't happened. So, but one thing I did say, the guarantee from the portal, as far as the opening of the portal, the guarantee was there were going to be surprises. And here's the surprise: a lack of activity in the portal. There's your surprise. It is hard to predict, but the spring portal, we're still all getting used to this. This still is a new world for everyone. And one thing that we're all going to have to learn, and by all have to learn, I'm talking about the coaches too, is the difference between the winter portal and the spring portal. The spring portal, it's going to be different, and I'm not just because it's a shorter window. Different because most lineups are pretty set. I mean, you just spent spring practice sort of cementing who's in your lineup. And if you're like, hey, I'm third team now at Mississippi State, I'm third team, I'm not happy with this, I'm going in the portal. Well, where are you going to start for sure?
Well,
and are you going to
go
be
to the SEC?
You can't go to the SEC. And are you going to be, because for those that don't know, the portal rules don't allow that. You can't transfer SEC to SEC after, in the spring portal. You can in the winter portal. If you're third team at Mississippi State, now you got a decision to make. Well, it sounds to me like you've probably got two options. Do you want to be third team at another Power 5 school? Or do you want to start at a group of 5 school that needs help? And that's not an easy decision to make. And by the way, the group of 5 schools that need help, you're probably not talking about a lot of NIL money, to be honest. So maybe there's all this thinking that's going on in the portal right now.
Now I want to tell everybody about FanDuel. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, no pun intended, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every single game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, and that's guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, it's secure, and it's easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. It's all one word. And make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel is, of course, America's #1 sportsbook. All right, got a new advertiser now that I appreciate. I like them because I've played this before. It's pretty cool. Monopoly Go. It's really fun. Look, I'm telling you, go check it out. You will love it. I've been told I'm a competitive person. I mean, Jimmy,
I'll tell you that.
He's a competitive person, So, okay, well, yeah, we have a competitive side. We all do. And my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. That's a great
150 million?
150 million times.
Good.
It's a great twist on Monopoly. It's where you play on not one, but on hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. But that's not even the best part. The best part is, of course, messing with my friends. I can charge them rent on my iconic properties, just like in classic Monopoly, but I can also rob their vaults of riches for myself. This is really fun. I promise you I played it. And all the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. It's not me, but I don't want to brag. I'm a Monopoly millionaire sometimes.
It's probably Saban.
Yeah. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world in timed tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends today. Download Monopoly Go now, free on the App Store or Google Play. You will absolutely love it. I'm telling you, go download it, try it out. Tell me you don't love it. I'll call you a liar. That's how this is. Really quickly, want to give a shout out to, and that's why I was looking for something earlier today. All right. So I play basketball at Lifetime sometimes. Yesterday, I got on a team. I don't really even shoot anymore because I can't shoot anymore because my bones don't work. But I had some guys that could shoot with me. And one of the guys that plays comes in and like in between games, we won like 10 games in a row, which is unheard of. It had nothing to do with me. But one of the guys that I play with was coming in to get in on another game. He said, hey, I went to my grandparents' house the other day. My grandfather's watching a podcast. I said, I play basketball with that guy. He was talking about me. And my friend's name is Jalen. I think he said his grandfather's name is Howard, but he may have said Harold. And then I about blacked out because I played 10 games of basketball in a row and I about passed out. So Harold or Howard, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but you have a grandson named Jalen that I play basketball with. That's how you'll know who you are. So thanks for watching.
Not the first time the show has given a shout out to Jalen either.
Yeah, that's the first time but I don't think Jalen watches, so I didn't really want to give him any credit.
Okay. Well, that Jalen. I'm just saying we've had a few Jalens.
Oh, we've had other Jalens, yeah. Okay. So
Hurts, Waddle,
Milroe. And by the way, let me a quick other thing. something that made the rounds on social media was there was a lady that wore a shirt at A-Day, and it was spelled Milore, Malore. It's we all, and it had the number 4, so it's not like we think her name is Malore and she just wore number 4. I don't think that's the way it is. I think she just misspelled the name or whatever, had it custom done and misspelled it. Okay. I don't think look, for a mistake, for a common person, we don't have to publicly shame everybody. If this was a sports reporter who wore something in defense of, and he is supposed to know better, and he should check these things, and he has people that check these things, fine. Do we have to kill everybody online all the time for the slightest of miscues? And you know what? Maybe she got it done on Friday and she was like, I don't have time to change it. I'm just going to wear it. And hopefully nobody will shame me publicly on the internet.
Maybe her
But
name
we
is
do
Malore.
publicly shame her. And y'all just give everybody a rest every now and again. We don't have to make fun of everybody all the time. Jimmy and I make fun of people and we get made fun of. We get it. We put our faces,
definitely that last part.
we put our faces out here. And so occasionally in the comments or wherever, people say, y'all are a couple of morons. We don't even dispute it. We know that that sometimes we're going to say things that are going to be wrong. And we get, paid somewhat to do this. Okay. Yeah. This is just a woman who had a shirt on, and we don't know her situation. Again, she just seemed like a nice one. I don't know anything about this woman except I've seen her from the back with a misspelled shirt. But I'm like, give the woman a break.
Stop making fun of her and start making fun of me for saying Malik Benson would lead us in catches, touchdowns, and targets last year. You should have to wear a shirt with Malik Benson misspelled. Saying that you said that. But regardless, I just want to bit sore. Let me say 11. Been sore. Okay, so back to the transfer portal for just a second, and we're going to talk about your updated rankings on On3 and some recruiting stuff in the third segment. Transfer portal, basketball-wise, Sam Walters has gone into the portal. Whatever. I wish he'd stay. I understand, Jimmy. You have a much better theory, at least, about this, if not some slight knowledge about it. Just heard. I just feel like, look. I know he's a Florida Gator growing up, and I know he's from the villages in Florida, and maybe he always wanted to go to Florida, and that's where we think he'll end up. Right. But I'm just like, man, and maybe we pushed him out a little bit. I don't know that for sure. Maybe we did, and if we did, so be it. I just hate the fact we have this Final Four run. We have this team that has a lot of youngsters on it, and it seems like all of them are leaving, and I got to start all over loving this team again next year. I'll do it. Don't dare me. I'll do it. Just saying it'd be nice to have somebody to cling to, because it also sounds like Mark Sears is leaning towards the draft. Yeah, I'm sad about – I'm not sad that Sam Walters, the player, is leaving, because honestly, he's replaceable. I mean, in terms of the production that he was going to bring to the team, this past year and in the future. He is a good player, by the way. I mean, I think – sometimes players like Sam are totally underrated by fans because, if they're not LeBron James, then get rid of them. But actually you need role players to win games. Not everybody's got, 7 LeBron James. You need a star, and then you need role players. And Sam is an excellent role player. So he'll do well, and I think he'll go to a big place like Florida. Like Luke said, maybe it's just a matter of going home and playing for his childhood favorite team. I get that. But like Luke said, it's sad because I want that Final Four team at Alabama to be remembered and special forever. And doesn't it feel a little less special if all 12 guys that were on the team last year just scattered to 12 different places the following year, and they're not Alabama players forever? That now if they're heading to the NBA, if Mark Sears heads to the NBA and signs with an NBA team and makes a team, I'm happy for him. I'm not going to be upset about that. I want Mark to be successful, and that means the NBA. But the only way I'm going to be disappointed in the Mark Sears story is if he returns to college basketball and plays for somewhere else. That is going to crush me. And all of the back of my jerseys will be misspelled from there forward. Mark Sayers. But and here's the thing that I worry about.
like if Mark Sears doesn't come back and Grant Nelson does, which I'd gladly take it. I mean, for me, I feel like it'd be better if both of them come back, even from a leadership standpoint. Mark Sears brings a toughness to this squad that I think people match. And this is no knock on Grant Nelson at all. There's sometimes you just need this. Like some people aren't just naturally tough as soon as they step on the court. Take me playing basketball yesterday, for instance. Like I don't like just going out there and just throwing weight around. I can't do it as much anymore, but if I could, I don't like doing that, even if I'm bigger than everybody. I just want to play and exercise. But every now and again, when a game gets really intense, you can see it from pickup to college to NBA that people pick up their toughness game. But what Mark is kind of the guy who he's tough the minute he steps on the court. And I think that rubs off on other people and gives our other players like permission to, hey, you need to be tough with me. Now, maybe they aren't always that way, but I'm saying unless you have that guy who starts the toughness, sometimes it's tough to get other guys on the toughness train. And so I feel like Grant Nelson, I'm not calling him soft at all. Please don't think that. What I'm saying is he's sort of a basketball player. He's, like the Golden State Warriors, like, why don't they get rid of Draymond Green? Well, one of the reasons is they need him sometimes because Steph Curry, as awesome as he is, he ain't winning a bar fight. But Draymond Green might come in there, Draymond Green makes him feel protected sometimes. Now, he also makes him feel threatened sometimes, but that's another story.
I don't mean to be changing the topic. You said something about Grant Nelson that's reminded me of something I've been wanting to say for a few weeks because Grant's a great example of this. We're getting this right now in football and basketball. The idea that the best prospects are positionless players. They're so gifted and so talented. You can move them around, create their own spot. He's not this. He's that and these things. He can do this and that. He's positioned. We have positionless basketball because we got 5 guys that all do similar things. And this is how we built our team. And in football, we hear the positionless defender, which means he can drop into coverage. He can rush the passer. He can play the run. He can do all these things. You know what else you might want to call positionless players? Players without a position.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, that was a knock. For a long time, that was a knock. Like, yeah, good athlete. What spot is he going to play? And I think Grant Nelson is such an interesting bird because you're kind of describing the same thing, right? It's like you brag on him. He's awesome. He's positionless. And then you can also say, yeah, what position does he play?
Where do we put him?
So anyway, I've just been wanting to say about how, and by the way, I love Grant Nelson. I want him back on our team really, really, really badly. And I think he's great. But I also think if Grant had a clear position, he wouldn't be coming back to Alabama.
That's true.
I think he'd be headed to the NBA.
All right, let's talk a little LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's where you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. What are you, crazy? LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively looking for a new job but might be open to the perfect role, which may be at your company. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. All one word, linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions, yeah, they're going to apply. All right, so On3 has come out with their new rankings,
Yes.
Jimmy. And, interesting. It's funny that soon as we talk about the new wide receiver commitment, and we're like, hey, he's only a 3-star, but we think he might get a bump. If nothing else, he might get the Bama bump. And lo and behold, guess what he gets? The big old Bama bump. But I think this is deserved. He is a record setter in New Jersey. And of course, I'm talking about Lotzer Brooks. And he's speedy. He's got great hands and he's got a lot of moves. So he's moved up to, I think, 101 on On3. Then I'm going to throw out a couple others and you can just comment on the overall scene here. Derek Smith, he stayed at number 45. Duke Johnson, he slid a little, which was shocking to me. He's at number 47.
Positionless player.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
I love Duke, but I think sometimes you get a little, to me, you get dinged a little bit in the rankings when you're an athlete, which basically means we're not sure where to put you. They mean it as a compliment. He's so athletic, he can play a number of spots. Yeah, but sometimes, I mean, I had a coach tell me, I've told the story on here before. I can't even, I sort of remember the player. It was an in-state player, and I was talking to an SEC coach at a high school football function, and he was talking about rankings, and he was, an athlete was ranked really high, and he was talking about how we're not sure what position he's going to play. Why is he ranked so high when we're not sure he can play this spot? We're not sure he can play this other spot, and he's ranked high. And the guy you got second, he's an inside linebacker. Everybody that watches, he's an inside. There's absolutely no doubt what he is. He should be ranked higher because we know what he is. The other guy, we're not even sure what he can play and get away with. So now that said, he wasn't talking about a Duke Johnson level player. He was talking about more of a guy that was going to be fortunate to sign with an SEC school. Duke is, he's great. I think with Duke, it's a matter of what position will he excel at. To me, as a linebacker, his upside is outrageous. And I'm a big Duke fan. I would rank Duke as the best player committed to Alabama in this class so far.
Naheem Alford is at number 7. There's a guy committed to Ohio State. I know Alabama loves him. I know he's still looking at Auburn and some other places.
I still say there's a chance. Alabama with a chance. Don't say Jimmy said Alabama's going to get offered, because I didn't. I said don't shut the door there. I don't think the door is shut.
Justice Terry, who's committed to, I think, Georgia, and now is committed to Southern Cal. He's on there. I don't think he ends up at Southern Cal, by the way. Juju Lewis, committed to Southern Cal. Don't think he ends up at Southern Cal.
Me neither. How about Auburn? Auburn making a big run at Juju, by the way. Auburn could be a kind of a surprise, because I was thinking Alabama, maybe if not Alabama, Georgia. Now I think Georgia, I've always said I didn't think he would end up at Georgia. Now Georgia's taken another future quarterback. Now maybe if Juju doesn't stick with USC, Alabama, or Auburn.
Interesting. Then there's not a lot. I mean, there are a lot of guys already committed. Of course, there's some offensive linemen mixed in here. we've talked about in the past David Sanders, but I wouldn't say he's leaning to Alabama or anything. There's Caleb Cunningham, that's from Mississippi. It sounds like he's going to stay in state.
He's a Mississippi State guy. I mean, he really likes Mississippi State, who has a top 10 quarterback committed, by the way, who's kind of a thing over in Noxubee County, Mississippi.
Yep.
That's committed. I mean, he's a good player, and I think Caleb likes him and might want to play with him, a Mississippi State guy. But Caleb's definitely open to Alabama. In terms of the rankings, two very highly ranked offensive linemen that love Alabama are Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll, both very highly ranked. Both could end up 5 stars and possibly end up at Alabama.
Yeah, and of course, Jamie French is still in there, but it sounds like that ship may have sailed with Alabama at this point for whatever reason, depending on who you want to talk to. But there are a lot of offensive linemen in this bunch, and I think this class, the way things are going to shape out, I think Alabama's going to end up in the top 7. That's just my prediction now.
Top 7.
I mean, I think that's fair, don't you?
Yeah. I would say even higher.
Okay.
I would say, here's what would surprise me equally. Number 1 and out of the top 10. I mean, in terms of I would be equally surprised with number 1 and outside of the top 10. That would be kind of equal. So I think in the middle there, and I do like top 7. That sounds right to me. I would even say probably top 5, but you got to get guys you got to get some heavy hitters there. Lloyd and Carroll, maybe another one.
Offered.
Maybe Flip Offered. You got to find a quarterback that's ranked pretty high. What quarterback that's catching my attention here, I would say late, but I would keep an eye on Keelan Russell, the currently committed to SMU. ESPN ranks him number 1 dual threat quarterback in the U.S., by the way. Wow. I mean, and he's a guy catching fire here. And let's see what shakes out in the Elite 11. I'm a fan of the Elite 11 process, and I'm curious to see who ends up invited and earns the right to participate at Elite 11 and how those rankings shake out, because it's a really good quarterback. I think it's a deep, good quarterback group.
All right, that's going to do it for today's podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with more, hopefully with some kind of portal news. I don't care if good, bad, or indifferent at this point. Give me something.
I don't know about bad.
I know. I don't want bad either. But I had to – hey, look, let me just sign off in a way that sounds dramatic.
Oh yeah, do that. We love drama.
Too late now. All right, that's going to do it for today's podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.